How to manifest multiple desires at once. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. This is Priya, your manifestation coach. And in this video, I'm going to break down how you can manifest multiple desires at once. And I'm actually going to share with you how I did this in my own life. So let's get started. How to manifest multiple desires at once. Now, this is about understanding that your higher self is always responding to your vibration, which is dictated by the way that you feel. So when it comes to manifesting multiple desires at once, it's really about activating the feeling state. A feeling state that represents all your desires. So distilling it down to a feeling that you would feel if you had everything that you desired right now. So let's say maybe you desired more abundance, a relationship, maybe a new car, maybe a new house, like whatever it is for you, it doesn't matter how endless the list is. You can have all of it at once and the universe can absolutely deliver everything to you all at once. But the idea is you first want to get clear and distill it down to one specific feeling that you would feel. So for myself, when I did this, the feeling that I would feel if I had everything that I wanted was ecstasy, was bliss, was euphoria. Like it was that type of frequency. So I focused on the frequency of ecstasy, meaning I would deliberately and intentionally and on purpose get into the feeling of ecstasy. Every single day, I would get into that feeling. Because again, this represents you having all your desires. Now, some people say, Priya, do I need to imagine? What about visualization? You can absolutely visualize something if that helps you to get into the feeling. But the feeling is what's doing the manifesting. Like your higher self, infinite intelligent God, source, the universe, it already knows what you want. Okay, this is infinite intelligence we're talking about. Your job is to become a vibrational match to it, to become the person that already has it. And you do this by embodying the emotion of what it would feel like to have all your desires at once. So for me, it was ecstasy. So every day I would tune into that frequency of what does ecstasy feel like. Now, if a visual helps you to get into that feeling, maybe you visualize yourself living the life that you desire and having everything that you want. If that helps you to get into the feeling of ecstasy, by all means, use a visualization. But if you're somebody who can go straight to the feeling and you can just conjure up that feeling of ecstasy, which is something that I can do, go straight to the emotion. Right? Your higher self is responding to the emotion. So what I would do is I would do this every day. During my meditations, I would focus on the emotion of ecstasy and bliss. I would really just allow myself to go there. So that I was training my body emotionally to feel like it already had my manifestation. And you will get to a point where when you keep activating this feeling of having all your desires at once through the feeling of, say, ecstasy or bliss or whatever feeling it is that you choose that represents your desires for you, eventually you'll get to a point where you will just feel like it's done. It's like absolute knowingness that your manifestation is done. You will just feel it. It's a feeling. Once this occurs, get ready because your manifestation will come to you. Everything that you desire will come to you. So how this worked in my own life, as an example, is at one point in my life, I was working in corporate London. And I remember getting clear that I felt complete with this and that I wanted to move into coaching. I also got clear that I now wanted to manifest my life partner. And I was very clear that on what this looked like. Like I wanted somebody who was spiritually awakened and who lived and breathed this stuff. And I also wanted to start my own coaching business and share this stuff. So I got really clear on that. And I would go into this feeling of ecstasy every single day. And I got to the point of absolute knowingness where I just knew that my manifestation was done. So therefore I was no longer looking for it or searching for it. I knew it was done. And this was whilst I was still working in corporate London. So I never left my corporate job. Instead, I just focused on becoming the person that already has everything that I wanted. And so when that I became the person that already has my manifestations, it activated the bridge of events. Now, I'm not going to go into what the bridge of events is because I already did a video on this, but I will put a link in the description box below if you're not familiar with the bridge of events. So the bridge of events got activated, and this is how the bridge of events unfolded for me. So firstly, the company was making cuts and they decided to let me go. Now, if I wasn't already the person that knew my manifestation was done, maybe I would have been worried about that. Maybe I would have freaked out about that. But I didn't. Like, I was so calm. I was so at peace. I was like, okay, this is interesting. I mean, at the same time, the job that I had is something that's very vocational. Like, I used to work as an actuary. So technically speaking, I knew it was really easy for me to get another job. I think I remember at the time as well, there was actually also some headhunters who wanted me to come work for specific companies. So if I wanted to, I could have stayed in corporate, but I knew I was complete with that and that I was ready to shift into becoming a digital entrepreneur. So firstly, the company were making cuts. They decide to let me go. And the way in which this unfolded was pretty spectacular. So firstly, because the company was making cuts, what this meant was that anything that I owed the company was a complete write-off. So at the time, I was still doing professional exams as an actuary, which the company sponsors me for and pays for. Now, had I resigned or left the company, I would have owed them about 20,000 pounds. Usually what happens is when you move to another company, that company normally then takes it on, like that's how it works. But if I had just like left corporate, that's what I would have owed the company. But because they let me go, that was a complete write-off. It's a write-off from a company point of view. And this was something that I hadn't even thought of. Like, I didn't even think, oh, if I was to just leave the company and resign, that would happen, that I would owe them all that money. But it's something that my higher self knew and something that my higher self took care of. So that's like number one, that got taken care of. On top of that, I got paid enough money, which meant that I didn't have to worry about money for a year. On top of that, I was able to finish work early, but still get paid for 3 months of not working. So I was meant to honor them and work for 6 months, but they allowed me to stop earlier and still paid me a salary for 3 months, which was amazing. So it meant that I had money and I didn't have to worry about money. 2 months after that occurred, I went on an Abraham Hicks Greek island cruise and then met my husband in Santorini in a queue. We literally bumped into each other in a queue, getting the cable car to go up to the town of Ia. And so I met my husband in that queue. Me and my husband hit it off. My husband lived in the US. I lived in London. But after the cruise finished, my husband wanted me to come out to the US and visit him. And I was like, of course. And everything was just effortless, right? Because I was no longer working in corporate London. I was abundant. I met my husband. So when my husband was like, oh, you know, come out, fly out to the US and come spend some time with me, I was able to just do it like that. I didn't have to get time off from work, which would have been another whole story. Everything just flowed like from effortlessly from one stepping stone to another because I had activated the bridge of events. And then once I came and we spent time together in the US, like we knew we wanted to spend the rest of our life together, and the rest is history. And here I am today, you know, with my business and with my husband. So everything unfolded in an effortless manner. The bridge of events had unfolded that allowed me to manifest all my desires at once. Like, I was able to shift from corporate London to my coaching business to also manifesting my husband. And this all happened within a very short time frame. I think they were all within like 3 months of each other. It sort of all happened. So the thing that I want to point out here is that it all happened effortlessly. Once I became the person that already had my desires, I didn't need to look for it or search for it. Your higher self knows how to give you everything that you desire all at once. And it's worked out the how, so that is not your job. Your only job is to get into the emotional state of having your manifestation. So what I would recommend you do is you first make a list of all the things that you want, then distill it down to one emotion. Like for me, it was ecstasy, and then focus on embodying that emotion. Like that needs to be the goal. Nothing else matters. right? You don't need to take action. None of that matters. The bridge of events will occur that will take care of all of that for you. Of things that you haven't even thought about, it will take care of to make sure that you are in a good place. So then focus on that feeling, embody that feeling until you get to the place of absolute knowingness. Now, some people ask, Priya, how will I know this? It's just a knowingness. You will just know that your manifestation is done, that nothing in your 3D reality will bug you or will worry you. Like, you will be at peace. Nothing will stress you out or worry you. Just like when the company decided to let me go, I didn't really care. It never bugged me. Like, I never flinched once, like not once. And that's because I was already in this knowingness that I'd already become the person that had a coaching business and that had my dream relationship. So anything that was going on in my reality, my 3D reality, it didn't matter to me. Like, it was irrelevant. And how do you get to that place? You get to that place by becoming the person that already has your manifestation, by focusing on the feeling state till you get to the point of absolute knowingness. Once you do this, you will activate the bridge of events. Your 3D reality will literally rearrange itself around you, and it will conform to everything that you want. And the magic will unfold. So this is how you manifest multiple things at once. It's about distilling it down to one emotion and then getting into that feeling every day until you get to the place of absolute knowingness. When you do this, you will activate the bridge of events, which means that all your manifestations will come flowing into your experience effortlessly without you having to look for it. Now, if you would like to go deeper into everything we have discussed here today, if you would like a step-by-step roadmap that shows you from start to finish how to manifest anything it is that you desire, how to become the person that already has your manifestation, then you can get your hands on my manifestation courses by clicking the link below in the description box. Also, if you are somebody right now who is struggling with your thoughts, if you have thoughts that oppose what it is that you desire and what it is that you're trying to manifest, then you can watch my video here next, The Art of Ignoring Lesser Thoughts. Finally, thank you so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day or a wonderful evening. Mwah.